can start. It's a great question, by the way. I think it will be increasingly hard to move to the frontier models unless you have the insane compute infrastructure that is now being built by X.com and Elon and Meta and Microsoft and Google. But there will be a lot of innovations happening on smaller open source models. But I think actually, my guess is that the gap will increase. And that's a bit sad, or it's very sad. I would say.
That's sad, yeah. So you're in the other camp that there's not so much we can do.
I think we can do a lot in innovating by using the frontier models.
That's what I was going to say.
From them, you can distill it into some much more like specific kind of models that you use for, building recipes or whatnot, and there you can innovate a lot.
Exactly. So that's a good bridge over to me, if you want to. So I was thinking, I already started talking about this Monte Carlo research, and for me the way to sort of see that I'm trying to see where we're going is by experimenting with doing this on the prompting level. So just generating prompts and trying to see, can I get to something smarter by doing that? And that I think everybody should be doing.
Yes.
Trying to, if you're already active, it's relatively easy to pick up these ideas and start playing with it, but not at the training level, but at the prompting level. I think that's the easiest starting point, and then you can see what would happen if I did this in the fine tuning step.
And it's very easy to say people that do not take advantage of AI and these kind of frontier models or the open source models that we do have, they will be left behind, no question, right?
So that goes without saying. That's it's impossible to keep up with the frontier research. It's impossible for me, and it's impossible for many others. Yeah. But at least if you're already using the tech, then you're in a decent space.
Yeah. I would like to give a recommend to anybody that's a tech enthusiast to do the following 3 things. Install Cursor and sort of try out programming with the help of an AI. Yeah, any of them. It's very cool. Second one is download Olama and try out a couple of models yourself. Any kind of computer you can have, you can run the little and compare what Phi versus Aya versus the Nemo fine tunes, and they're all different. I found, for example, when Gemma was going to summarize a chat log for me, that I couldn't get it to stop being helpful. Sure, I can do that for you. Here's the learnings and takeaways. I'm like, I don't want that. And you got to get a sense of their personalities, I think. And then the last one is, there just came out a new version of Flux that can run on smaller GPUs. For
so image. Flux is the image generation part that X is using in the Grok models.
Exactly, and there came out a new one called NB4, I think it's called, that can run on a laptop with a GPU, and it'll generate an image in like 15 seconds, and the text adherence is really good. So these 3 things: coding with AI, running language models, and this, you can run this on your laptop, and it's pretty damn easy. You clone the repo, and it just works. You should try it.
And I think anyone, even if you are not a programmer, should start to experiment with these things. Now we've been really techy this podcast, and it's been really fun. But I think anyone can really start using it today because there are so many tools and APIs.
It's fantastic. You can just start with ChatGPT. If you haven't done coding and using the API, you can just start playing around with ChatGPT, and you can do like a lot of stuff in there as well.
Right? There's some pretty sci-fi stuff. There's one sci-fi. I just have to mention this because I think it's so cool. So I record music, as some of you know, and I have my son in the background as like, he's 12 years old, and so he has a beautiful like boy choir voice that I have in the background that sounds spooky and cool, and I want to save his voice because he's turning into a man and he's not going to have that beautiful little kid voice anymore. So I want to use some models to sort of preserve his voice for all eternity.
Nice.
And I think many people are thinking, how can we use AI to transfer ourselves? And this is just a little precursor to that, saving his voice. I think that's.
Don't you think it's possible to go back in voice if you make a model of him?
Probably, yeah.
Old, that brings me to a rather sad topic. We had I had a personal friend called Fredrik Löfgren who was that we lost a few weeks ago to a very unfortunate accident, and there are times when I just wish I could speak to him again, or I could have his voice or his thoughts or his ideas or his truly very friendly kind of attitude and personality back somehow. And actually, I wish we would have said. Actually, we do have the podcast we did with him. It would be super fun to just take that and try to build some kind of avatar or some kind of model of him that brings him back in some way.
I think there's something special that I don't know, should or could, but like there's something there that it would be nice to be able to save people somehow.
It's going to be, I can tell you this already, it's going to be a memorial for him next week here in Stockholm as well. It's already been one in Linköping, and we can publish more about that if it's okay for the family and stuff. But I'm wondering if I should. Yeah, I would be. It would be super fun to do something Avatar-ish for him. Okay, let's not go there.